issues.
Oh,
and
I'm
no
sorry.
sound.
You know what? I forgot to unmute us. I'm sorry. Let me start this all over again. So welcome to the Clear as Mud podcast. I'm your host, Riveter. Tonight I am joined by Seth.
Hello.
And Gigi.
Hey.
And Nadia sucks. Our six could shut up. I was saying,
that way, people.
Yes, I can. He's my son. I can talk to him however I want.
Yeah, you can't talk to him that way.
Why?
You need to be a better person to your son. That's why you can't talk to him that way.
Exactly.
You need to be a kind and loving father.
Kind and loving father. Okay. And I guess you're right, because we are talking about fathers today, right? We're not gonna have a show Sunday because it is Father's Day, and we're going to encourage all of our viewers, listeners, and whatever to go spend time with their dad. Even though my sons will not be spending their day with me because I don't warrant it, evidently. So
well, maybe if you were nicer to him in chat. Maybe
there's a point.
That's exactly what. Sure, we'll go with that. But anyway, tonight is my wife and I 27th anniversary. As I was saying, you guys didn't hear this, but I was telling the ladies today's my anniversary, 27 years ago. 2:00 in the afternoon, the wife and I got married, and I talked a little bit about it on my stream this morning. I talked about having bird seeds down the crack of my ass, and it was hot and nasty and mess. But I fixed the lovely mighty Mrs. Riv just a very romantic dinner for supper tonight. I fixed her some State Fair corn dogs and some French fries in the oven baked. So a hell of a 27th anniversary dinner, I think. So
I can't be done more romantically.
Yeah, you don't think so? You don't think so?
The way to a woman's heart is through corn dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
We got a raid.
Yeah, looks like Slug.
Hello, Slugster. I miss you, baby. Come back.
Yeah, thanks for the raid, I guess. I'll be nice.
I'm the only one who loves Slug. It's okay, Slug. I forgive you.
I still have a soft spot in my heart for Slug, but Slug, stepped out of line, and so it is what it is.
I would have done the same in his place.
No, you wouldn't have. Shut up, Seth.
No, I'm with you. All right. So anyway, like I was saying, we're not gonna have a show Sunday. So to allow you guys, viewers, hopefully to go spend time with your fathers, and for these ladies to spend time with their family and fathers as well. But we wanted to talk. It kind of got me quizzical, right? Because we have different generations here, and not only do we have different generations, but we also have from like different parts of the world. And so I gave the cast an assignment, and the assignment was that I wanted them to go out and to find what it was to them that was, as a kid growing up, who exemplified what the perfect father was, right? As far as, it could have been somebody that was in their lives, right? Or it could have been somebody that was on television, someone like that. So Gigi, the overachiever, flooded with a bunch of pictures and even some video clips and stuff. And Seth, I don't for sure. I think, what was it you said? Hang on here. Let me see exactly what was it. What was it you said, Gigi? I'm sorry, Seth. You said. I think Seth said something along the lines of. What was it? I don't know. Something about. You didn't know what a father was.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know. So, anyway, needless to say,
I have a father. I'd just like to make that clear. I'm not fatherless.
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna start with you then, right? Because I know what Gigi put out there, but let's ask you this, Seth. What person, be it a fictional character on television, maybe that you watched, or someone that was in your, in your life that was a perfect example of what your ideal father figure.
Simplify.
Yeah, I can't use those big words. So, who was that? And kind of tell us about that person. I don't want you, naming names if it's a real person, whatever, and any of that kind of stuff, but just kind of give us an idea of, of who that was and what they meant.
The thing is, right, I didn't watch a lot of television as a kid. Like, I just really wasn't. I wasn't sat in front of the TV. We didn't have like cable or anything.
Yeah.
So if I was watching TV as a kid, I was watching like Ninja Turtles on DVD over and over again.
Okay.
So if I had to choose like a fucking character, it would be fucking Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like the Ren.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Master Splinter's base. He's a great father.
Yeah.
He's a great father. Like, he took in like these little turtles that wasn't even like, his real kids, and he raised them.
The 90s movie of Teenage Ninja Turtles where Shredder has him and they commune with him while he's meditating, and he ends it by saying, "You will always be my sons," and all of the turtles cry. Oh man, that gets me right in the feels.
It is rather sweet, yeah, but it's not something I've thought about because I'm gonna be honest, I was very close with my dad, like, for the most part, even though my mom was a stay-at-home mom, I would be hanging out with my dad. And that's why when I think of a great dad, all that comes to mind is my dad. Because he's,
Yeah.
He is my dad.
Sure.
And he did a great job,
right.
I think.
I said it wrong. I called him Shredder. Shredder's the bad guy. It's Splinter. My bad.
It's Splinter,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
it's very
cool.
Sweet. Although I know it's a little bit of a rant, but Shredder's also in the newer series kind of a good dad, so it all checks out.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So Gigi.
Yeah.
So the question to you.
So I'll start out right up front by saying I had the opposite experience, and that I did not have a dad growing up. So firstly, shout out to my mom, right, for having to be both parents. In the absence of my father. But later on in life, I've acquired some adult men who've really shown me what a good father is supposed to be like. So also shout out to my stepdad, who's amazing, and my father-in-law from my first marriage, who's also pretty amazing. And they've both been what I think men are, which is protective, intelligent, supportive, but also, when I'm in the wrong, they have no problem telling me that, which is, I feel, just as important. But maybe most important, especially in the case of my stepdad, is that he can handle my mother. So I don't know how many conversations are like, I can't deal with her. Can you please have a conversation with her? And God bless him, he does. So and then as far as like growing up, we moved around a lot as a kid, so I would say there was always like, I'm gonna age myself, there would be a few days before we had cable, and internet was not a thing when I was little. So in those first few days before the cable got put in, me and my sister would watch a lot of movies, and one of our favorite movies was Mrs. Doubtfire. So when I think of a dad, I think of Robin Williams, like 1,000%. And when he died, I was devastated. Like, it was not a small thing. I called my mother sobbing, and it took her about 5 minutes to even figure out what I was saying because I was hysterical. And I feel like with him, I even went through the thing of like learning about his older comedy, like his 80s comedy, which is very raunchy, and being like, ew, I don't want to think of him having sex. And all of that. So he's number one. And then through the pictures, you can see I watched a lot of television and had a lot of these examples. of from Carl Winslow. And actually, we have a clip of probably the clip related to fathers that I feel like really kind of shows that, and it's a tearjerker, and I probably will tear up a little bit because I can't watch this scene without crying. So yeah. I think Peepaw will share that.
All right, here we go.
Daddy-o! What's up? Will, I'm glad you're here. Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, I'll call you next week and we'll iron out the details, okay?
Yeah.
It was great seeing you, son.
You too, Lou.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Will.
You know what? Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the Slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I
Hey,
could
you know
do.
what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I,
Yeah,
Uncle Phil?
you did.
Got through my first day without him, right? I learned how to drive, I learned how to shave, I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. To hell with him! I ain't need him then and I don't need him now.
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm gonna have me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
Man, that is a tough scene.
It is a tough scene, and actually there was like an interview about this at the end. He's not acting. This hits very close to home for Will Smith. So in this moment, this is a real moment between Will Smith and James Avery, which I can imagine. Like I don't think I could act out this scene. I don't think I could take it. And I remember seeing this as a kid, and actually a lot of the comments on this clip are that when you don't have a father, like this is a lot of what you feel. So for me, who watched not just this show, Family Matters, The Hughleys, pretty much every show, it's a pretty typical, even when the parents aren't together, the dad is around a lot. So this was really important for me to see, like, you can have everything and still be upset or hurt that some people aren't what you want them to be or expected them to be.
But yeah, I've shared this story on my morning show, but I don't think I've ever, and since we're talking about this, I think and we're talking about fathers and stuff, I think this is important. And I don't know how many of the viewers that are watching, I don't know if you're parents yet or not. And it doesn't matter if you're a father or your mother. This is something that you need to hear. I went my entire life, and I think I can count maybe one time, maybe twice, where my father ever actually told me he loved me. He never told me that he was proud of me. I did hear a lot of it from this is my son. He's good, but I just don't know what he's good for. That was the joke that he liked to tell when he was introducing his eldest son. One of the things that came to be very important to me because I lost my father several years ago. Was it became painfully clear to me that how important it is to as a child growing up. And I think this clip we just watched demonstrates this immensely. Is that it's important that your child or children hear from you as a parent how much you love them and how proud they are. Even when they make mistakes.
It's odd for me because I might have grown up a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because my dad was in the military, and he's always just been a kind of guy where you don't really talk about your feelings ever. It's like, of course, I don't hear him ever say "I love you" or "I miss you" or "I'm proud of you" or anything. But it's because he's my dad. I just know, and that's sort of that's why to me it's like that doesn't really resonate with me. But I can understand that that's something that is important for most people.
Well, I don't want. I know my father loved me, and I'm pretty certain he was proud of me, right? And so I know what you're saying because I'm sure, your father is probably Seth, somewhere in that generation, kind of like where my father was at, right?
No, probably not.
You don't think so? Not. Okay.
I think he's about your age, P.
So he's in his 50s.
He's nearing his 60s.
Nearing his 60s. Okay. All right. So it's a little bit, yeah. So we're in the same generation then. But I don't think that I think that way too many times, especially men, we're afraid to tell somebody how you feel. I'm gonna tell you something.
But it's the words the important part. Like,
yes,
I think
actions are important too, right? Like your father getting up, taking care of you, taking care of your mother, providing a roof over your head, food for your bed, clothes for your back. That's all very, very important, right? And that's a physical manifestation of their love, right? And that's important, right? But there's also another side of it where I firmly believe that a child needs to hear it. And it needs to hear that verbalized, right? It's my father worked extremely hard. He provided, and he did all these things where but I still believe that even though he did all these things, a child still needs to hear that, right? I did the same thing with my kids, and I'll be honest with you, when they were younger, I didn't tell my sons that I loved them very often. I didn't tell them I was proud of them very often. But now, because it became so poignant to me, every time I talk to them on the phone, I tell them that I'm proud of them and that I love them. I make sure that's the last two words they hear from me every phone call, because I want my sons to know that I love them and I'm proud of them.
But do you think they know without you saying it? I mean, do your actions reflect that you are?
Sure. I'm sure they do. But again, like I said, I know how bad it impacted me. And I wasn't going to subject my kids to that. How about that?
Okay.
So that's
fair.
And I can also say to you, Seth, as I have someone very close to me who lost his son, and closer to when he passed away, he would say, like, I don't know that he ever really knew that I loved him or how much I cherished him and things like that. And I was able to say, no, he knew, and like give him examples of him knowing. But he's never said it outright. But I imagine that one of the many regrets now that he's gone is that he couldn't say a lot of things, or he maybe at best didn't know what things really stuck with him. So I definitely encourage those conversations with people because you do never know when it's going to be the last conversation that you're going to have with that person. But yeah, maybe we should bring up the energy a little bit because this is the most depressing Father's Day talk.
Well, you know what? It is a little bit depressing, but I think it's also we're covering some things, you know.
For sure. You know what I've noticed companies have started doing? I've gotten a few, and I don't. Some people are going to say this is real snowflakey, but I got emails from at least 3 companies that were like, we're going to be putting out a bunch of Father's Day stuff. If you'd rather not see it, like click here. And I was like, you know what? That would have been great as a kid because obviously I was a kid a long time ago. And I still had to make like Father's Day cards and Father's Day presents at school. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and give these to my mom. And maybe I would have felt less like I was missing something if I didn't have to do stuff like that.
Well, I think kids can still make things during those whatever, but like when you're in a single parent household, I would hope the teachers, and maybe back then, because I don't know really what period of time we're talking about there, Gigi.
Well, I also grew up in Florida, so it might have been the 1800s for all
exactly
to Florida.
Fair point.
It's super interesting to hear like what you guys like perceive as important and stuff. It's not really, I think, especially like this talk, it's not often you get this talk because it's like we're having conversations right now that is something that I'd usually only have with like very close friends, and usually you have some of the same kind of experiences. That's why you're close friends. You have the same kind of mindset about things, so it's very interesting for me to hear these things.
Well,
I've definitely noticed that too. My ex is Chinese, and so his perception of his parents and like what his father's role is very different. Whereas to me, to be a good like father, it also means being a good husband. Like that's not a thing in China. In China, the man brings home the money, and that's it. And as long as he does that, everything else is like how it is. Like it's almost expected that men have mistresses and possibly even other families, and the people just don't talk about it. And if you find out about it, like the stigma on it's better now, but the stigma on divorce is so high that it might be more beneficial to you to just deal with it until whenever. So it has been surprising to me just how expectation can do a lot of things. And we're talking really about like TV dads and stuff. And so maybe the problem was that like I had this expectation that my dad would be like one of any of the men that I've shown, and my dad wasn't like any. I guess Will Smith's dad would be the closest. Wasn't like any of them, right? Like even and I know we're gonna talk about Boy Meets World, which is further gonna age me. But that show had two big important father figures in it, right?
Yes.
The main character's father, who was that more picture perfect kind of father.
Yeah.
And then you had Sean's father, who was certainly lower income and working hard, but a much more everyday guy. You know, he was tired. He was raising his kids on his own. He maybe drank too much and too often. And, you know, you have Sean, who's like in real time seeing the ideal family and how all of that. So, yeah, I don't know if you have a clip. Do you want to try?
Yeah, I got you. But there was a third father figure on that show.
It was a third. Oh, I would say it was Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney. Yeah, 100%. Because I think in a lot of ways he was a surrogate father for all those kids. Because, you know, as a kid when you're growing up, I'm sure, you know, I know I felt this way, and I'm sure my boys felt this way at time too. You can't talk to your parents, right? There's a communication. And so they had this sage mentor that they could go to, right? And he would give them sound fatherly advice that if they went to their own dads, I'm sure they would have, done the same thing, but they just didn't have that. They just didn't have that luxury, right? Or they didn't feel that level of comfortability. But anyway, this was a clip where, what's the boy's name?
Sean,
and the
Corey.
Corey and Topanga have parted ways. And so, the boys have went out drinking and have got caught. And, this is a father overreacting.
Pause real quick. Can I just say also, Corey and Topanga also gave me unrealistic expectations of what to expect from my young relationships. I'm like, every time we're going to be Corey and Topanga. No, you're not. No one is Corey and Topanga.
No.
Sit down. So, how's it feel to put one over on your parents? You feel good?
No.
I cannot believe that my kid stole liquor from my cabinet like somebody else's kid.
Have they been charged with anything? Are they going to have a record?
No, the charges were dropped because they are juveniles and there was no prior arrest.
Corey, this isn't you.
No, of course it isn't. Somebody influenced them, didn't someone?
Alan?
No, Dad, okay? You're completely wrong. I did this completely on my own.
Come on. You're covering up for Sean like you always do.
No, I'm not. Okay, in fact, I'm the one who got him to drink.
No. Stop protecting me, Corey. Yeah, you know how lousy he's been feeling. Well, he wanted to feel good, and I showed him how.
Sean, what are you doing?
I am sick and tired of overlooking the influence you have on my kid.
Alan, that's enough. Come into the other room. I want to talk to you.
It's probably a good idea.
Listen, Sean, why are you taking
So I'm going to
my-
fast forward here
Your
just a
dad's
little
right,
bit.
Corey.
First, we feel that you two need some time apart. Now, this doesn't mean that the friendship is over.
No, forget it, Dad, okay? Forget it. I'm not doing that.
I'm not giving you the choice.
Corey, you were drinking tonight.
I don't care, Mom. Dad drinks.
I am slightly over 21. And when I do drink, I drink responsibly. And when you are ready to do what I do, then you can get out of this house and get a job.
What if Kimberly's party wasn't within walking distance? Would you have driven?
Okay, I wouldn't drink and drive. I'm not a moron.
You peed on a cop car. How smart is that?
Base.
I appreciate the lecture, and thanks for coming to the station to pick me up, but you're not my parents. And yeah, I'll just stay away from Corey if that's what's gonna put everything back to normal.
Normal. You know, I just broke up with someone that I spent my entire life with. I don't have a heart anymore. I've lost my life. So I went up to your liquor cabinet and I took a bottle of whiskey and I made Sean drink because I didn't want to be alone.
Sean,
Forget it.
no. I was worried about my kid, and I said some things that I shouldn't have.
It's okay.
It is not okay. And I apologize.
That's important. I mean, that's something else that I think, far too many times parents, when they make a mistake, because, guess what? They don't give us rule books, right? They don't give us a handbook. This is how you raise a kid. It's a freaking crap shot, and you do the best you can. And it's very, very important that when you make a mistake as a parent, that you can be adult enough to own the mistake and apologize to your kids. I don't think it necessarily shows weakness. I think it shows a great strength, and I think it shows your kids and teaches your kids that, hey, everybody makes mistakes. As long as you own the mistakes and you apologize for mistakes, I think you can go forward, right? So
Yeah, can I say, as the child, Abby also said my mother
Yeah.
apologized and I wasn't ready for it. Yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
to my mom about something that happened as a kid, and she stopped me to apologize for it, and I was like, "What are you doing?
yeah,
Stop!"
yeah,
It's so weird.
yeah, yeah. Um. So
Also, before we completely move away from Boy
yeah,
Meets World,
yeah.
like
Okay.
this was my whole show. I watched it from probably that when they were about that age, because they started them young. Like they were like little babies when they started that show, and they
Mhm.
went all the way past college.
Mhm.
So like I don't know that there's been any shows that have had more impact on millennials than Boy Meets World. Especially, I know people will fight me on this. The Halloween episodes. The Halloween episodes are great. There was even one that where the killer ended up being Sean himself, because it was actually about self-sabotage. Ooh, deep, meaningful, important. Anyways.
So Toxic Dome says, Peepaw, you're forgetting the Cosby Show. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We had a little. We were in our chat, and
Yeah.
we decided maybe we shouldn't put Bill Cosby in that collage, because
Yeah.
there is some things in his personal life that you might not, I think we decided we'd just gloss over that.
So,
but as we gloss over that, I would like to say that in the only instance probably where I will feel like let's separate the art from the artist,
Yeah.
the idea of Bill Huxtable and Claire Huxtable was very important, and I still stand by what the show portrayed. And I think that's, in that way, it's still valid. I just can't enjoy the Cosby Show anymore.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I agree with you, Gigi. I think the Cosby Show was a very important show for the era and time that it was on air. Because it showed a different. Because prior to that, right, what did we have examples of? Black families, right? You had Good Times, right? Where you had a black family that was living in a impoverished ghetto, right? Kid Dynamite, right?
Yeah, the Jeffersons. You had the
The
Jeffersons.
Yeah.
Can I also say this is the oddest episode I've ever been on, because I know nothing about any of these things you guys are talking about.
Oh, well, so you're getting education. You had the Jeffersons, which was was an important period piece for itself, because it showed that black people could be more than just these menial labor. They could actually be entrepreneurs. They could be business owners. They could be successful. They could have, as they said, a piece of the pie, right? They could.
Oh my God, Sanford and Sons. Listen,
Yes.
When I was younger, I was convinced that when I got a car, I was going to have a horn that did a song, very annoying like, and it was going to be ba 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 na, so you would always know it was me.
Yeah.
And that is my favorite thing about Sanford and Sons.
But Sanford's Son, showed the dynamic between a geriatric father and a grown son that were living together because of financial situations. And
Black families and Latino families were often, and I would argue still are depicted as blue collar, type workers.
And that's
which
why
is nothing wrong.
But that's why the Cosby Show was important, because you had two parents who were professionally employed. One was a doctor, one was a lawyer, and it, I think in some ways, it maybe incentivized, or it gave ideas to maybe young black children to say, hey, I can be a lawyer, I can be a doctor, I can be whatever, and I'm not relegated to this type of existence. And so that was great. The show was good in that aspect. Now, what the actor did outside of that, that's a whole nother story, and we ain't talking about that. So, like Gigi said, separating the artist from the art.
From the art.
Yeah. All right. So there were two fathers that really come to mind as a child as I was growing up, right? So the first one would be Ward from Leave It to Beaver, right? Now this is yes, they were TV programs were in black and white. This is a thing. Calm down, people.
This is quintessential Americana, is
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
I would say for me, because I did put this in. My black and white father was Ricky Ricardo for obvious reasons.
Yes, sure.
But this was the white alternative to Ricky Ricardo.
Sure, 100%. But it was a dad who was had two sons and was worked. The mother would stay at home. He would come home, be greeted. June Cleaver would take the briefcase and, she'd have a meal prepared and they would sit around the dinner table, whatever, and have this, nice meal where they had this nice conversation and stuff. I don't know about any of you guys. That stuff never happened in my, when I was a childhood growing up. We didn't have those types of conversations and stuff. It just didn't happen. But this is just a little 1 minute montage of just the father giving some advice at the time to his sons.
I know you love him, and I know you want to go on taking care of him. But you can't hang on to things you love forever, Beaver. You have to turn them loose, give them a chance. Well, for a lot of reasons, Beaver, but mainly because we want you to feel that you can come to me or to your mother at any time with any problem, and we'll understand. Well, Beaver, it just goes to show you that us grown-ups can make mistakes just like you fellas. But, Wally, shaving is just one of the outward signs of being a man. It's a whole lot more important to try to be a man inside first. See, Beaver, some of the homeliest people in the world have done the greatest things. Well, I'm sure you will see sooner or later, June, but in the meantime, it's practically impossible for parents to make a boy see himself through their eyes. You know something, dear? Beaver's right. We can't ever really protect anyone by hiding the truth from them. Beaver, a teacher once said something to me that I think you'd do well to remember.
Okay, pause.
As you go through life, try to...
Can I just say one of the most unbelievable things is that he said, wife, you're right.
Why is that? I don't understand.
Well, why is
Just
that?
a calm.
No.
Listen, I've never gotten to a man to agree that I was right about anything without basically smacking him in the face with the evidence. And even then, it's like, I guess the sky's blue. I guess,
darling. Then you've had the wrong men in your lives, darling. Because I tell my wife that she's right all the time.
I would like to point out that I'm currently single for a reason.
For a reason. But the thing that I look back and I watch this now, you know what this reminds me of? Who Ward Cleaver reminds me of?
Me.
Modern day. Chris Hansen. His way, his speech patterns is
I see it. I do see it.
Mm-hmm. So, and the other...
This also reminded me, and I don't know how I could have forgotten it, Full House. Like the three dads raising three little girls.
Sure.
I think the remake is why it's like left my brain, but also R.I.P. Bob Saget. I was real sad about that one too. But yeah, arguably Joey Gladstone, Jesse, and Danny were come on guys. They were the three dads. That was great.
Well, I never really watched that series. So again, generational things. And then of course, Seth didn't actually have TV where she's at. I think they barely got running water and electricity now, but anyway, this next one, of course, this is the Brady Bunch. And when I was a kid, this was on in the 70s. So this was, again, I didn't get to watch TV a whole lot because we came in, we were shoot out the door until dark or whatever, but occasionally we would get to watch the Brady Bunch. And what was so unique about this TV series was a blended family. You had a father and his three sons, a mother and her three daughters, and they come together and, to form this family. And think about that for a minute, right? To to take and put 6 kids under one roof and have them have to, all those personalities and stuff, and try to you're not my father, you're not my mom, or whatever, right?
So can I just say the obvious thing? And they do this in the later Brady Bunch movies, thus ruining my childhood. But I'm like, you're telling me you put some preteens and some teens in a house that weren't related and nothing happened. You're pulling my leg.
If you watch any of the behind the scenes interviews and things, I think Marsha and Greg, I think there was a little bit of tension there, shall we say? What was it? Was it the first movie they did where they started going through the hormonal changes and stuff? They were in the attic. Was that the first one or the second movie they made?
I don't know. Those Brady Bunch movies were explicit. I was not expecting how those movies went. They were a different kind of camp. They were John Hughes's The Brady Bunch, I think.
But
I'm sorry, not John Hughes, John Waters. I always confuse them, and somebody's going to be on my ass about it.
But this little clip here is where Mike Brady here is being given a Father of the Year. This was in season 1 of the series, TV series. And anyway, he's been given this Father of the Year, and I just think it's kind of poignant.
Mr. Brady, I am Hamilton Samuels, publisher of the Daily Chronicle, and it is my pleasure to announce that you have been chosen Father of the Year.
Father of the Year?
We received thousands of entries, and the judges decided that the best came from your daughter, Marcia.
Marcia? Was that what you were... That letter you had to mail, was that all part of this?
Perhaps you'd like to see the letter she wrote.
I remember what this was about. He ended up having to yell at her or something about the letter, and he got really upset with her. Yeah. And now he's having to eat crow because that's what it was about. That's why she's all smug and happy about it.
You think so? Yeah.
No, like in a cute way, but it's feel bad, old man.
Many years, and we have never read a tribute like that.
And even though he's only been my dad for a short time, no father could be a realer father than Michael Brady.
Is that all it says? That's a lousy letter. If I was her dad, I would have gone over and hit her with a steel chair.
How do you know that's not what he's about to do?
I would have crawled up like Roman Reigns.
Oh, come on, Seth. Why are you so cold-hearted?
I don't know. That's just how I was raised. I don't know if this is actually representative of like what American...
A blended family?
No, but like just American, like all of these clips have had like a very like involved kind of like family thing. That's just not how we raise kids here. You're out till like you come home from school, you drop your things, and then you're out till like 8 in the evening, and then you come home and sleep. Like you don't actually like stay inside with your parents.
In a safer country, perhaps. Like I was not really allowed out as a kid. I wasn't allowed at sleep. My mom worked in news, I should mention, so she was very overprotective. Like this was every television show. Like, and I watched a lot of television. All of the parents were like very involved in the kids' stuff. Like you'd hear them talk about like, oh, little Jessie has soccer on Tuesday. Like not that my mom was an absent mother, but there's no way my mom would know I had soccer on Tuesday unless I told her that day that I had soccer on Tuesday. She was busy.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, but
if we needed to go anywhere where we like there was like I remember distinctly being like, can I go to a party? And they'd be like, well, can you? Like, get your ass away from the house. Like, it wasn't like a thing where it's like I'm supposed to ask and get permission for what I was doing. It was just kind of like you just go do what you do.
Well, to that point, Seth, my childhood was a lot like what you're describing. I mean, when during the summer when we weren't in school, we would get up and we'd have a bite of breakfast, and then we were ushered outside. And we would play until lunchtime. At lunchtime, we would come in, have about a lunch. My mom would usually make us lay down and rest for a little while because she wouldn't want us out in the heat of the day. Then usually around 2:00 or so in the afternoon, we were back outside until dark, which meant it was supper time. Unless there were chores and stuff that we had to do, like, we had to, do some work in the garden, or if we had to cut the grass, whatever, that type of stuff. But other than that, we were not allowed to be in the house. We were not allowed to be underfoot, as they called it. We had to be out, and we were running up down hillsides and hollers and playing in the creeks and, with neighbor kids and, doing all the stupid things that kids do.
You guys might have also just been more outdoorsy kids. Because listen, I picked up video games early. Like, I can tell you, I almost failed 3rd grade because I was addicted to Super Nintendo. Like, I had to be taken away from me.
Okay, well, it's a bit different from people's because my dad plays a lot of video games, so I'd always play video games. But like, we were allowed to be inside, we could do whatever. But it was like, if we wanted to go outside, if we were going somewhere, it was like, we didn't just tell our parents over it. We just had to go do that.
Yeah. If we were we had to give
even what you're describing is very because I also had a Hispanic mother, so I'll say that. So it was very, where are you going? What time are you getting there? When are you leaving? Who's going to be there? What parents know you're there? If you're changing any plan, because also I didn't have a cell phone, right? This was quite a while ago. If you're changing any part of the plan, what are you going to do? I'm going to go to a payphone and call you. And like all that kind of stuff. Even so, I still drank way before I should have. I still got mugged on a number of occasions, like at the mall. I still had uncomfortable, unpleasant experience, not criminal, unpleasant experiences with boys that I would prefer not to have had. Yeah. Like, you can have the experience that Riveter and Seth seem to have had. You could have had my experience with a helicopter parent. So, it's. But I will say, I got on the internet at 10, which was as soon as I could, and I never looked back. So. I was also going to make this joke before anyone makes it for me, which is that, would I even be a woman on the internet without daddy issues? So here it is. Anyways.
You're welcome for making that joke, because I feel like I would have offended you if I'd said it.
Yeah.
No. This is a known thing. I feel like I would be ridiculous. I've also definitely heard that apparently from there in a number of Corpse Husband songs that if they don't have daddy issues, it's not even worth going out with them. So,
really,
okay, I think that depends on the man and the woman.
Perhaps.
But you know, I said this to Tony earlier. Okay, there's a reason why the young people have started calling mental health facilities grippy pussy factories. Okay, because crazy women.
Whoa! Stop! Time out.
So hard.
Say that again. Calling them what?
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Grippy pussy factories.
Grippy.
She's saying grippy because of the socks.
Okay.
Grippy, the grippy sock. Oh yeah, because when you go to one of these places, you're on a grippy sock vacation. So grippy pussy factory. I could see it. Because before I knew what it meant, I had heard that crazy is good in bed. You don't marry crazy, but that's what I'd always heard. And unfortunately can confirm. So, but walk away, people. Walk away, okay?
I don't know. I was always told you don't stick in crazy.
You're thinking crazy?
Yeah, so I never did that.
Let me clarify so you can rest assured, people. Crazy women give the best pussy in the world.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Well, I'll never know. So.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
Look at how, guys, please take note of how artfully he dodged that. His wife cannot come back to this stream. Like he didn't even kind of agree
It
with
is
that.
their anniversary. He has to be
It's
on
true.
his best
It's true.
behavior.
It's
Listen,
true.
I love my wife more now than I ever thought I could love another person. So
Aww.
that's
That is
the
so
end of that.
homosexual.
It is, but that's okay.
True.
Yeah, okay.
So you know what I think the most important trait that a father has to have with as far as being a father?
A penis. I said it before Seth could.
Well,
I wasn't even gonna say that. I was lighting a cigarette.
Lies. I felt it coming.
So
chat, tell me Seth wasn't gonna say it. We all know it was coming.
Okay. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a
reputation.
reputation.
Yes. But no, I think the most important thing is to show a healthy love and interest in your wife. And I think there's no two better on-screen parents that showed or demonstrated this than Morticia and oh shit, what was the husband's name? Gomez.
Someday we'll
See, I watched this one.
Side by side, 6 feet under, in matching coffins, our lifeless bodies rotting together for all eternity.
Cara
Goals, right?
They are definitely goals, yeah. But I will say this: I don't know if you look at some of the other things. I don't know if he counts as a good dad because he do be letting his kids
absolutely
kill
does.
each other.
How dare you? So first of all,
no, he was a great father.
Okay, but he do be letting his
Julia.
kids try to kill each other.
No.
He supports their interest. Thank you very much.
Yes. He allowed them to learn how to navigate social interaction with other people and to solve their differences.
So what you're saying is that time I was trying to choke out my brother and my dad stopped me. He was kind of a bad father for doing that.
Well, was your brother passing out and turning blue?
Yeah.
Well, then no, he did the right thing because you had learned how to settle your differences without causing long-term harm to your brother.
Okay, well, fine. I think that might have been long-term damage considering.
You think so?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say I have an Addams Family tattoo right here. It's the Addams Family Creed because I love. But secondly, for sure, even in the 1950s Addams Family, Gomez was supportive, really, of every member of his family. Including the kids. Like how many times that little Wednesday, who was this adorable 5-year-old little girl, would come up to him with her Marie Antoinette doll, and he always gave her enthusiasm and attention as if, the way you would talk about like something much deeper, which was something that's been consistent in every iteration of Gomez, which is wonderful. And as far as how he treats Morticia, like he always adored her, supported her, and like to the point where I think there was even some episodes where there were women who were trying to catch his eye, and just he was just super faithful. So like, how can
with
you
a
not?
woman like Morticia, how can you not be?
So here's the thing, and when you first meet Morticia, she's like this very meek girl, and she's overlooked for her sister because she's weird. So he's actually presented with her sister. And he like pretty much immediately falls in love with Morticia because she's quiet and creepy. And it's like, what little creepy girl isn't like, oh, and also,
are you saying you were a creepy girl?
I mean, I would say we're all a little creepy. But I also think that she's intensely goth, but he's also intense. Like, have you seen Gomez with his trains? Like, they really match each other's energy. Like, I think people are like, they're so different. They're not. No. They're the same kind of energy, maybe expressed differently, which I think is what you want.
Goth girlfriend and autistic trained boyfriend is a classic match.
That's a fair point.
All right. So, any closing or final thoughts on the father topic before we move on to this
I think
next and final
this
episode
has
thing?
I think this has solidified for me that I have a very different idea of what a dad should be. But I think that's okay, and I think
Sure.
there are different ways to be a good dad.
Yeah. And I have no doubt that one of these days, Seth, you will be a great father.
I already am.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
I've got a dog.
You have a puppy. You have a fur baby.
She's not ready to
Yeah.
take responsibility for all those illegitimate children she has.
Oh my Lord!
Call me John Stamos. The way I'd be having 79
Ooh,
children.
spicy.
Oh, God.
My closing statements are happy Father's Day to everyone who's been a father, whether they're biological or single moms or all of that.
Yeah.
I guess one major benefit is that now if I call guys daddy, I don't have any weird Freudian issues with it. Hey.
There you go.
Oh.
The only thing I'll leave is say as a parent, my advice is never be too proud to humble yourself when you make a mistake and tell your children that you made a mistake and that you're sorry. That's very important. And number two, make sure that your kids verbally get affirmation from you and that they know how important they are to you, that you love them and that you're proud of them. Yes, I know. I know, Seth. You think that's
I'm gonna be honest. If my dad ever straight up said, "I love you and I'm proud of you," I would look at him and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
You should not be sharing your feelings like that. That is a weakness.
That is a weakness. Okay.
But live your life.
Good fathers are very sexy, and to me, a good father is always someone who's like, I tell my son I love him every day. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Makes me moist. I said it.
There you go. There you go.
I do not like that word.
So we have a topic that has nothing to do with Father's Day. This was brought to the show by our resident overachiever, Gigi. I
would like to address this. I don't think Gigi is an overachiever. I just think that I do really poorly.
Oh.
And it makes Gigi look very, very good.
I just have a bit of ADHD, and I'm just like, hey guys, and you guys don't see our behind the scenes chat. I'm just like, okay, bye, and then disappear.
She machine guns, boy. She just machine guns.
How many weeks are we on?
Oh, jeez.
Been a few.
Are we approaching a month yet? Maybe.
Yeah, probably something like that. And I think I've brought one story to the table, and I think Gigi's brought probably 20.
Yeah. That's
the benefits of ADHD, guys. It's great. ADHD and autism. It's a combination. It's a magical cocktail.
A deadly combination.
But here's the thing I'll say. It's Seth, the stories that you do bring are very important and interesting stories. So not to diminish that, that you're not, I don't want people thinking that you're not doing anything, because you are. So
I'm not really doing anything. But you know what? That's okay when we have Gigi, because she'll do it for me.
There you go. Okay. So,
yeah, I will say this thumbnail. It's guys. If I when my inevitable cancellation comes, please don't let them do me like this. There are so many pictures of me available. This is rude.
You talk about Cody Rants bawling.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with that.
She. Come on, she's a normal-looking person. I mean, they've just taken
she is a normal-looking person. This picture is a little bit rough.
It's just a screenshot. You know what? I think it might be because she looks a little bit like my sister, so I have to be careful with what I say.
Sure, but here's what I'll say. What she did, I don't have a problem with her putting her in a bad light. as far as the picture. I have zero problems with that.
Yeah, I think, as we've said in many other situations, if you're gonna do something, just come out with it, because lying will always make you seem worse. And
I'll say this: I totally would. By the way,
I know you would, Seth. I know you would.
That's a given. The day you say you wouldn't, we'd hear.
You are
there would be a
horn
deafening
dog,
silence.
Seth. You're just a horn dog, Seth.
I'm a player. There's a difference.
No, madam, you are a horn dog, and that's okay.
Wow.
And I still love you, but you're a horn dog.
By the way, women in chat, my DMs are open.
I don't know who's worse, you or Beavers. Honestly and truthfully, I don't know.
Do not compare me to him.
You are literally the Beavers of this podcast. You understand that, right?
That is the one time I'm putting my foot down.
That is foul, people. How could you call her the Beavers?
The only thing I haven't seen her do is put out a tweet asking all the girls to send her their jigglies.
Well, because now she can clip you saying it now. You guys heard him.
Yeah.
On behalf of Seth. On behalf of Peepaw, send Seth your jigglies.
Yeah, sure, I guess, whatever.
I do not compare me to that wretched man. That is the one time I will not say would.
Okay. All right. Well, somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I get brought up and I don't know if I catch a stray on this or not. So let's listen to this segment.
It's Diva. Now, the thing about this, and by the way, Diva put out a Twitter video. I don't know if it's still up, but she might have deleted it. Oh, there it is. No, she basically put out a Twitter video, really sarcastic, really kind of passive aggressive, just like, okay, let me just spell it out for you, honey. All right, this is what I think, and this is what you said, and this is what he said, and I just think that's the case. Okay. The thing about Rivet, Diva and Rivet are actually really close at one point. They're actually pretty good friends. To the point where Riveter actually got really mad at us because he thought we were making fun of her once because we were reacting to a Twitch stream she was doing with Slug, and she was shitting on Slug, and we were kind of like having fun watching, and Riveter thought we were making fun of her, and he came in to defend her, and we were like, no, dude, like, no, it's chill, and he's like, oh, well, shit, man, I just, like, Diva's my friend, Captain Save-A-Ho. Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Listen, I love me some River.
I can't believe Matt said something funny. That's hilarious.
You don't think Matt's funny? Matt's funny. He is.
Beavers, it's rare that Beavers is right about anything, but he did point out that Matt is the meanest one on the Now Recording podcast. And I thought about it, and I agree. I think that is the meanest one on the Now Recording podcast. I think we can all agree that Matt Pitt is a little bit of a dick. Just in general.
I don't think
he can be extremely snarky. I'll go that far. I will go that far. So, but anyway.
I don't think he's a dickhead, but he is pretty funny.
I feel like what happens with Matt is he's chill until he's not. And I don't deal well with that. I need a build. If you're the type of person who's like all of a sudden like, whoa, like, we're gonna fight. But.
So here's okay, and I understand this about Matt because I'm the same exact way. We are very slow to anger, right? It takes a lot to get underneath our skin to get us riled up. If you are unfortunate enough to get to that point with us, you're going to hear it. You're going to get blasted, and and that's going to be that. And just as soon as we get our piece out, we say our piece, whatever, then we go on and we're chill again. We don't, we're slow to anger, and then we erupt, and then it's over with and done, and we move on. And I think a lot of Southern guys are like that. We just don't get really riled up that easy. Or at least it's been my experience with most Southern guys that I've dealt with or whatever, right? We're just slow like that.
See, I didn't know Matt was a Southern guy, but I will say when I first heard him, I was like weirdly attracted to Matt. I don't know what Matt looks like. I was weirdly attracted to him.
Yeah.
My feelings have changed.
Oh. Okay.
I still don't know what he looks like, but I feel like he has been quite spicy on some where I'm like, I don't need all that. I don't need all that
Okay.
in my life.
Okay. All right. That's too
But
bad.
it
I
was
was
not.
hoping.
I was not the leg.
I was kind of
not the
hoping.
leg.
I was kind of hoping maybe maybe a little love connection there. Match single guy, single woman. No.
You know what I would love to do? I would love to go on the Riz off and have people vie for my affections. Because I heard some game, but I feel like there's better game out there in the community. I'm also pansexual, so I would love some ladies in there.
I mean,
Some
I've got
non-binaries.
game. I've got game. I'll brace you up, Gigi.
Love it. Love it.
Daddy Matt?
A little bit of Daddy
Yeah.
Matt there. A little Daddy
Yeah.
Matt. Daddy Matt.
Nah, dog. Nah.
Nah. All right,
As long as people have legal age, I'm saying that right now. Really, I prefer 21 plus. Like, you need to be able to buy me a drink.
Yeah.
But
Nuclear saying he's the ultimate Rizzler. I think we're gonna have to do a Rizzo.
Oh Lord. I hung my Rizzling guns up. I don't rizzle no more. So you guys are just welcome to it.
I've been watching Mitch try to riz Niecy Wolf. And that's been amazing.
Really? Because I've been trying to riz her.
Well, I think he's just trying to make sure that she doesn't try to find where he's at, since he's the only person on the same continent as her.
Oh gosh.
But I think Mitch is probably all right. You actually, if you listen to this recording, Mitch does say some nice things about Miss Niecy.
Yeah. Well, all I'll say is
I don't like Mitch. I think Mitch can go dig a hole and then lay in it for maybe 4.
Why don't you like Mitch? Why don't you like Mitch? Okay, let me ask you a question. Seth. Is there anybody on the Now Recording podcast that you actually? Okay. Yes. All right. So GG's the same thing with you. You don't really like anybody, but.
So here's my thing, because we were gonna do a tier list, and then there's only 5 members. So one is, as the unofficial future member of the Now Recording podcast, I'm very offended that I have not been invited to any of the recent recordings. But putting that to the side,
okay.
DMax is obviously the favorite because we're a DMax fan podcast. Yeah. But I will say that even though Mitch is my mortal enemy and we will never stop feuding, Mitch has risen in the ranks. He's my second favorite.
Oh,
he's number 2. You know
what? It might be blasphemy, but I'm gonna put Matt Pitt as my second.
See, I'm gonna go with Core because I like a man who knows when to shut the fuck up.
You know what? That is the one good thing about Core, that he doesn't speak.
Can I say? It might be the one good thing about a lot of men. Can we say? Well, I will say a lot of people, but if we're talking about dating, a lot of men will do themselves. They will get so much more pussy if they just learn when to shut the fuck up. Like, that is my big advice. Is honestly, sometimes shut the fuck up. So I'm gonna put Core at number 3. I'm gonna put Matt Pitt behind him because he's mean. Maybe if he's nicer, we'll talk. And I feel like to even put Beavers on a like list is unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave the 5th spot as empty. I would rather have nothing than put Beavers there.
I don't. It just you see, I kind of think Matt Pitt is an alright guy, and I love DMax, but all of the others, honestly, can go fuck themselves, I think.
Matt Pitt seems to be like a very decent man, and I have zero doubts that man will be married relatively soon. Because I've heard there's a lot of women who are specifically into amputees, so actually he might have a chance with some very hot women just because. I'm just saying. I think he's a decent man. I'm not saying he's not decent. I'm saying he's mean. I like sugar,
Oh, okay.
Give me some honey.
Yeah, that's probably where we differ a little bit. That's probably why.
I don't know if
But
Xylee's claimed him
I
though.
think we can
There's already
agree
Daddy
though,
Matt
right?
over there, so
We can agree, right, that Beaver's we don't hope that he in Minecraft, of course, trips and breaks his ankles and then someone runs him over.
nothing like that. No, I'm also not. I know we're trying to avoid certain words like karma, but I certainly believe that the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So the most I'll ever do is hope somebody gets really bad diarrhea, like fatigue causing diarrhea, or that they hit their funny bone on their elbow really hard. Like, I want them hurt slightly but very annoyed at whatever I wish upon them, because I feel like
want
that's
him dead. I want to put him on an island and I'm gonna
no,
hunt him like
no.
I'm poaching him. That's what I want. I don't feel like he could run very fast, but it'd still be extremely fulfilling to get to shoot that motherfucker in the legs.
No, when I learned learned that I was renamed to Smelly Puerto Rican in the Now Recording Discord, that's right. That's what they renamed me. Go over there and trash them. Brigade them, people. Go flying monkeys.
We can't say that.
I was
In
like, you know
Minecraft-
what? I hope Beaver stubs his toe really bad today. Like, I hope it gets him. I hope it takes him a few minutes to recover. Ooh. Yes, I do.
I can't wait to like skin him, and then like how they have those like bear rugs. I'm gonna have him like laying in front of my exuberant fireplace.
All right, so let me finish listening to this and see how many strays I catch here.
He, bless his heart, sometimes I just look at him going, "What are you doing, Riv? What are you doing?"
His rope is way too long. You know what I mean? Like, he gives so many people the benefit of the doubt all the time. Like, that could be a really good quality for most people, but honestly, if you see shit happening around you, then there should be a strike on their name, not just for what they've done to you personally. But
Right.
that's just my opinion.
Yep.
And in fairness to Diva, I don't think she's like a devious bad person. She's just a smartass. And I don't know, like, I think River's kind of, been there for Diva before. Like, and it's just weird seeing this weird strain in their friendship. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's fucked up. I just think it's just like,
I don't think Diva is evil. I just think Diva doesn't look at a full situation before she says something about it first. Because I went under that tweet and was like, Diva, I'm a professional subtweeter, and even I didn't get Peepaw being smartass. I literally looked at Peepaw, like what Peepaw was saying in those tweets. It was really just his curiosity. He didn't think it was about him. Yeah. I didn't take it as that, and I'm a professional subtweeter. Okay, so I mean, I didn't even take it like that, and she never answered me. But
I think ever since Augie, Nick, and Bo Blacks called out Diva for what she said on a Stardust stream about, it was about a year ago now. I think it's
yeah, it was about a year ago. Yeah,
I think ever since then there's been kind of a strain with her relationship with the commentary community. She still loves Tommy. I think she still likes Dave. But yeah, there's been like this weird like drift with everybody else, because we all used to be pretty cool with each other, and we still are. We're still cordial,
right?
But we're not like buddies,
Yeah. What was?
Okay.
Do you have some comments on your history with Diva?
Here's the thing. People make choices, and people have to live with those choices. When you make a decision, you're not making it inside of a bubble, and your decisions have ramifications, and you have to live with those ramifications. Matt is absolutely correct. When she was going through all that crap with Augie and Bo Blacks and Nick, I was very concerned about my friend, and I was doing everything I could to try to tap it down. Matt was also correct. I was very defensive and was, trying to get, people to stop. I got even emotional with the guys one night about it. And I'll just say that that was quickly forgot about. And all the things that I had done and been supportive of. And I'll just say I learned a very hard, fast lesson. And, it is what it is. I don't hate Diva. I don't wish ill on her. I wish her success. I wish her, to be happy. I'm just not part of the equation anymore. And that's okay.
I think I'm gonna have to, and this hurts me to say, but I'm gonna have to disagree with Eva a little bit on what she said in this clip, because it is still to me a positive quality to see the best in people, and I think, it's, obviously, the very first episode I learned that I should be a little bit more critical. And that's kind of what this community is about. But there's not a lot of people here who give people the benefit of the doubt, or, see through fingers with a lot of the stuff that happens. And I think it's good that we have you people who can do that. Someone else really doesn't.
I'm a firm believer in leaving the door open for people to get second chances. And I firmly believe that people should be given second chances. Now, as far as extending rope, I understand that, I understand what she's saying. Like, there's been people that I've given, I've opened, I've let a door open to let someone come back, and I've been engaged with whatever that has a horrible, horrible track record. Right. But, if we continuously punish somebody and you never, ever, ever give them the opportunity to change, then they never can change. Because you don't allow them to. Now, if they come in and they screw up and they mess up, does that mean you walk away from them? Does that mean that you say no more? Maybe for a period of time, because they have to understand that there's consequences to their decisions. But it takes a lot, and I mean it takes a lot with me to get me to shut a door on somebody. Like, I haven't shut the door on Slug. Slug fucked up. Slug I'm not mad at Slug. I'm disappointed in Slug. But he's a grown man, and Slug had made his choices, and he has to live with the consequences of his choices.
And I don't think you should ever feel bad about, giving Slug that chance. And I
don't feel bad.
Yeah. Like, it just seems like people are like, kind of coming for you.
Let him come.
For giving him that chance. Yeah.
And here's a news flash.
I'm just saying, I think it's on them.
Yeah.
It's on them. Because they could do with a little more charitable.
And here's the news flash. Somewhere down the road, months, maybe a year, 2 years, I probably will engage with Slug again to see if he's grown, to see if he's matured, to see if he's hopefully grown the fuck up. And I hope when that day and time comes, I hope that he has. Because I do think Slug is very talented. I do think Slug can be very entertaining. But Slug has got to quit letting some past things that he allowed in his life to continue to dictate and continue to allow him to make bad choices on what path to walk in this life. And I honestly, truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, I honestly, truthfully hope that one of these days that Slug can put all those demons in the past, and he can get past all that shit and can become the man that he needs to be. And that's how I feel. So, right now I'm not having anything to do with him. I'm not going to interact with him. For lack of a better word, he's in timeout with me. Okay. But I don't hate Slug, and I'm not going to just completely and totally just, wash my hands of him. Right. But it's just going to take a long time before I, am ready to, engage with him again in any way or form or shape.
I think my perspective is I don't have any kind of a personal relationship with Slug. I'm very anti doxing, so obviously I have negative feelings about that. Um, and but if you've interacted with me, you know I'm pretty much a love bug and very very open. Until I'm not, right? And I think that is a thing where I don't know that I'm great about second chances because I give you a lot of charitability on the first one. And you know, and I know this is going to be like a little bit anti-slug here, but I think people kind of show you who they are. And I'm not saying I couldn't be swayed by seeing like major improvement, but I hate being or feeling duped. I really hate feeling duped twice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you know, I do hope he changes, but it's a where me personally, I don't feel I need to have anything to do with this person. I feel like there's so many other people to have things to do with who have not openly doxed people on multiple occasions. So you know.
And you know what? And that's fair. And I cannot take issue with anything that you said.
Yeah.
But I am an eternal optimist, and I always try and always have tried to my detriment. And I you know, people like Xylee and Matt and others have told me that I am too honest, that I'm too forgiving, that I'm too this, I'm too that. And in some cases, in some instances, they're right. I am. I'm too whatever. But to me, I have no other way. I have no other way. And all I could say is if you guys, honestly, if you get to the point to where I close the door and shut the door on you, you fucked up. If you get to that point with me. And there's been very few people IRL, and there's been very few people online that has gotten to the point where I'm like, that's it. I'm closed the door, no more. And so that's it. And I understand that I'm going to wind up in hot water. I understand that I'm going to wind up with fleas on me because I'm going to lay down with some dogs and I'm going to get fleas because of it. I understand that. That's unfortunately, that's just my burden to bear, my cross to bear, or whatever. And that's fine. I'll bear it. And I'll wind up with egg on my face and I'll say, you know what? You guys were right and I was wrong. You know, but I
will say to Eva's point about people standing by their word, that I that's a value that I was also taught. Like my mother, there was a few things that were very like important, and one of them is to stand by your word. Like you don't lie. You certainly don't lie to your mother. But you know, you stand by the things you say. So which is a thing in this community, and I've said it 1,000 times, is the thing that I don't see from some people, that they don't seem to comprehend, that like the things that come out of your mouth matter. And if you really want, you can't take it back. So this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying the door for me is 1,000% closed, but he would have to say something that would make me believe that he understands that your word has value, and that if you can't stand by it, like what is the point of you? Which is not a call for anyone to do anything, by the way. I'm just saying, you know, like at the end of the day, to me, I was taught that is the one thing that everyone has. This is why everyone deserves respect, regardless of many things.
But it also, I think also part of this conversation is, right, there are some things, you know, that are subjective on how bad they are. Right.
Sure. Absolutely.
For example, for you, doxing has seemed that obviously everyone can agree it's bad, but for you, it seems to be like kind of a harder line.
Absolutely. I would say for me in my hierarchy of needs, like safety is really high up there, and anything that puts people safety in danger is going to be like, how very dare you? Like, what is your problem? Like, especially because like and listen, I fully believe that the internet is just as valid of a real space as anything else. But it is not there yet. You can walk away from the computer. Don't bring in things into people's real life and make it a real life problem for them. Because not everyone has the means to move, get security, install cameras, deal with the police if they get swatted. Like, it's a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know if people realize.
I think maybe
that,
I just have the luxury of living in the country that I do when it comes to that. So it's just never really.
Yeah, I will say, like, now that I'm seeing more stories come out of like that whole Mizzy kid pissed me off so bad. He, like, for sure, and everyone has said it, but you can't do. He would have been. He wouldn't have made it through the door. He would have been shot, and everybody would have. And everybody was like, "Well, he was coming. Oh my God, he came into their house." What I can't imagine. Like, maybe I'm meek, maybe I'm timid, but like I get uncomfortable asking people for a glass of water. I could not imagine. And listen, if I did, you know who I would have had to be afraid of? My mother. My mother would have beat my ass from here back to Puerto Rico. She would have sent my ass back to my grandmother if she. Oh, oof. Like, I don't know, man. It's wild.
That idiot would not have survived long here in the States, because he'd walked into someone's house and they'd put him down.
Put a cap in his ass.
They'd have put him down. I mean, he has now been arrested a third time.
Yeah, Advent said she has many sharp objects in her house. That would have been my reaction. Just start whatever is near me. Yeah. Get out. Who are you? No.
And he didn't do it just one house. He did it to several houses. He stole a little old lady's puppy dog. He got into the control center on a subway or whatever mass transit train. Was messing with stuff. He's done several things that are just. He was physically assaulting Jewish people who were coming out of Tabernacle. He was. What else? Oh, he was going up to women and touching their hair and asking them if they wanted to live and stuff. Dude, this guy is a complete total menace. He needs to 100% be locked up for a long time. So.
No, I live in the tri-state area, so I take the subway. And one time, a person hit me out of nowhere. Yeah. Because that happens in New York, and like 30 people like stood up and rushed towards this person. Because I was like, "What happened?" Yeah. So like he would have gotten his ass in a city like New York. He would have gotten his ass beat by like the entire street, all at once for any one of the, even thinking, like, where do these ideas come from? Like, I don't understand.
Where's this kid from? This kid
he's in the UK. He lives in the UK. Yeah. I'm not sure what town, but he's in the UK. He's wild. But they basically, it's like a revolving door, right? He went in, he was found guilty the first time. He was given a fine of like, I think it's like £300, and was given a 2-year probationary thing, basically where
£300 is nothing, mate. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's been banned, so somebody else posts the videos. Like,
but see, he's not even supposed to be putting any videos up online as part of this this probation period, that whatever he was given by the courts. He's not supposed to be putting videos and stuff online, especially if there's other people in it, right? Unless he has expressed written consent to do so. So now that he's been banned off of every platform, he's got his buddies that have the accounts, and they're putting the content up. And like I say, I understand everybody's judicial systems in different countries and stuff are a little bit different, whatever.
Wait, was that the black kid?
Yeah. His name is Mizzy.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't understand why.
He did not seem like that much of a psychopath in that clip we watched. Holy shit.
He looks like a psychopath. This is like, part of me is like, was I just not a creative kid? Because no part of me would think of like even as an intrusive thought, my intrusive thoughts were like, what if I slap that lollipop out of her hands, right? And I wasn't doing it. It's just one of those thoughts you have sometimes.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I was watching a video I've covered this idiot on my morning show 3 times, but Leon Lush did a video on him not too long ago, and he was covering it, and he brought up a point that I had actually forgot about this. There used to be this creator who was like, I would almost consider him kind of like the godfather to this type of extreme content, right? As far as going and harassing people. This guy's name was Bunk, right? The Bunk crew, the Bunk gang. This guy would go into like places like he went into, I think it was like Red Lobster, and stole a live lobster out of the aquarium that they had, stuff like that. He would go in and like harass employees, like at different types of like coffee shops and things like this. The guy was just a menace, right? But the thing of it is now you've got this next generation that is going to one up like stuff that he did. So now the breaking into homes, the stealing of pets, the assaulting of Jewish people, the going up to girls and just saying, and rubbing on their hair or unprovoked, just stroking their hair saying, do you want to live? How creepy is that? How unnerving is that shit?
That was so wild. Like first of all, he because he had to choose his targets, because like I wish he would like he wouldn't have gotten even that close to me, because I'm very like who's in my space, but
yeah,
like, oh my God, like why even do that? Because even if he wasn't gonna do anything, like I feel like sometimes, especially younger men, don't understand that subconsciously us women are like trained to look for danger already. So already a guy coming near you, touching your hair, and then asking that question, even if nothing else happens after that, like all of your triggers have gone off. Every alarm has gone off. Like you don't know if he's going to come back later. Human trafficking is a thing. Like it gets intense. Like that, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those women that had that, like honestly have PTSD from it, because like you would never expect someone to do that if they like, am I wrong? Am I crazy? I could be. Maybe I'm paranoid.
He went on what is that guy's name? The British television show, Piers Morgan. Yeah, I think that's his name, Piers Morgan, right? He went on his show, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't like Piers Morgan. I think Piers Morgan is a complete uneducated ass. But Piers Morgan interviewed this guy, and I thought Piers did a wonderful job. He basically put him in his place, basically called him a moron. So I was like, yes, today I am Team Piers. Any other time, no. But in this situation, he really took the idiot to task, and I was on board for it. But yeah, I don't understand. And it's not just like, we've got people over in the States that do the same exact stupid ass thing. I covered this one morning. There was this guy, this young guy, is like late teens, 18, 19, somewhere in there, who was this quote prankster, and he would just go up to people and start screwing with them, right? Employees and stuff. Well, he was in a mall, and there was a guy that came in, and this guy started screwing with him. The dude was one of these delivery drivers for like one of the Grubhub, things like that, where you order food and they pick it up and bring it to your house type thing. Yeah. So this guy was going into one of the restaurants, I guess it was there in the mall. And he was picking up an order. And this guy kept harassing him, and I guess the guy was a little bit, not all there, and he just put out a gun and shot the kid. Right. Now, the kid was wounded, but he survived, whatever. And the father was like, I don't understand. He was just, messing with people. I don't know, yeah, your son's an idiot, okay? Your son's an idiot, and he's thankful. He should be thankful to be alive, and maybe learn less, quit fucking with people. But the prosecuting attorney came out afterwards, said they reviewed the film footage, everything. And not only was the dude that fired the weapon facing charges, but now the idiot that got shot is going to face charges as well. And I'm like, good. I hope he spends some time in jail after he gets through getting the bullet wound treated. Idiots. You want to make videos and you want to do pranks and shit, you know what? Do it jackass style. Do it on your buddies. Film that shit, okay? But don't go out here and just harass innocent people. That's just, anyway. So.
That's just, it's odd to me. Like, I don't know. But if I had that context to what kind of person this guy was when we watched that clip on your morning show,
Yeah.
I would have probably thought that it was much more appropriate.
I don't know.
I think this guy sounds like a psychopath.
All I'll say
He
is
keeps doing it.
Yeah,
He's obviously gaining benefit from it.
Sure
I'm
he is.
concerned that there will be copycats and like because you know they're
and they'll step
a lot
it
of
up.
this a lot of this has brought attention to the need to step those kind of rules up. But I also like, and I don't know what the race relations situation. We've been talking about race a lot lately. Relations are like in the UK, but I really feel irritated, I guess, as a POC that he happens to be black and doing this. Like,
Okay, can I just stop there? I don't think color of skin has a damn thing to do with this. This guy is a fucking moron.
100,000%. But the problem is he'll get used as an example of for people to be racist.
Okay, so I know one of the things that he did say in one of the interviews, he did say was he was being treated this way because he was black. No, you're being treated this way because you're a complete total moron.
Right. And that is the other thing. I do think this is an example of, well, I can always just say that they're doing it because they're racist and a lot of people will back off. Nobody's done anything to him because they're racist. But this is why people say, you see, he used the race card. He's doing dickery on like a level that he doesn't even comprehend of like why the idea of the race card is even a problem. It's because of this. It's because some people use it in situations where like, no, you stole some lady's dogs. You walked into some people's house. It has nothing to do with race. You should still be in jail. You've given people issues because you wanted some views on the internet. Like,
you know what? When I was a kid growing up, this was a great thing. When I was a kid growing up and was out in public, or whatever, if I was misbehaving and I was doing something that would bring shame upon my family, if my mom and dad wasn't around, it didn't matter. There was always someone there that was not afraid 1 second to get a hickory switch and to wear my ass out, right? To correct my misdeeds right then and there. And then what would happen?
Pause 1 second. A switch is a small branch that is used to hit people things. So it's a small, like very thin branch. So if someone hits you with it, it's going to be unpleasant. And this is what was common in the South.
Yeah, it's a switch. You get a switching.
Yeah.
You get a spanking, right? It's just what we, so, and here was the thing. If I was so misbehaving to the point where, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a family, whatever, friend had to take a switch to my ass, when I got home, oh shit, I get tore up again. Why? Because I had acted to a fool to such a point that I had to be corrected by someone else. And then that was an embarrassment on the family. So you learned real quick to mind your P's and Q's. What happens is this idiot, Mitzi, he just needs a good old country ass whipping to get him lined up. And
I don't get how no one has punched this fucking guy out.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They have different rules over there because he would have been punched out for less.
No, but here's the thing. Like I frequent the UK quite a bit, and I've seen people misbehave on the underground, and they've been like punched out.
I don't know. Maybe because he does look like a kid.
He's 18 years old. Hang on a second. I'm gonna bring in
but
Reese.
that doesn't matter. You punched the fuck out of that kid.
All right, so Reese lives in the UK. So Reese, do you want to share some insight with us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Do you want to share some insight with us? Okay, we're going to need you to mute the stream though, because we're getting feedback.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Is that better?
That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, it just played again in the background.
Sure.
Yeah. So the UK, especially when it comes to London, what I've definitely noticed is the police kind of say this guy has been arrested for shoplifting in the past. If he gets arrested again for a different type of crime, like trespassing or something, they'll be classed as two completely different crimes. So he could be charged for, one thing, and then for months and months and months, he won't be charged for the other thing. Like they won't put it all in one case, which I think that's how he's kind of been able to do so much.
Well, this guy has a extensive criminal record. That was something that was brought out in the Piers Morgan interview. He has going back to like when he was 11 years old. He's 18.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's been doing this kind of nonsense bullshit for 7 years. Right. And not only that, but Piers asked him if he was on. It's basically, I don't know. He said, but my takeaway is your assistants that you guys have over there, your like welfare assistants type thing or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like just below police officers kind of thing you're thinking about, right?
No, like if you're receiving like welfare, food stamps, or living assistance.
Yeah.
So he was asking him, was he on he called it something. And I kind of what I took it as. He goes, yeah. He said, well, is that not fraud? Because you're making all this money off of, these social media platforms. Is that not fraud? He goes, no. He goes, I don't make any money off of those. And so I don't know about all that, but the Piers Morgan interview was very good. He was also on another program, and they had him ejected.
I saw that one. Yeah. And the host got like really quite understandably arsey with him.
Yeah, but I know that over in the UK, I know that they're a whole lot more tolerant on things as far as criminal behavior and activities, whatever. But like I said, this guy has a track record going back to when he was 11 years old. He's 18 now, so 7 years. He broke into, and I don't know what it's called over there, but he entered into two people's homes that we know of that there's actual video evidence of for quote pranks. He assaulted some Jewish people coming out of Tabernacle, and it's just, I don't understand at what point is this guy not declared a menace to society and just locked away for a while,
It's difficult because honestly, the police are complete shit here. They don't do what they're meant to. I'm going to be real.
All right. So here's my problem with that, Reese. And I understand where I'm coming from here. It's not you.
Of course, yeah.
But this is with your system that you guys have over there. So you guys want to go after a guy because he trained his pug to do a Nazi salute, and they prosecuted him, fined him, threatened him with incarceration and everything else. But then this guy here who is physically assaulting people, who is breaking into their homes, who is terrorizing young girls, right? And they're not doing nothing? Are you serious? You see, that's a little bit disparaging to me.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, I've, without going into it myself, I've had a few instances in the past where I've tried to kind of get them involved, and they haven't done absolutely anything. There was one time I was physically assaulted, and it took them 8 days for them to at least just come out to me and take a statement. Like, that's especially when it comes into London as well, because like that's that's where the when he was trying to hijack the train, that was where that was. Because I've actually I don't know if you saw the clip of him kind of climbing up against the shopping centre. I've been to that shopping centre before, and it is one of the busiest shopping centres in the UK, in London. And to do that, they would have had to probably have closed down the entire of that area, for safety reasons and stuff like that. But as soon as he's down from there, the police just give him a slap on the wrist and let him go.
I mean, what I'm confused about is like, why is no one fucking slapping him around?
Oh, that's another. I was saying it in chat. Like, you know, we're not allowed stuff like tasers or pepper spray or anything like that to protect
Yeah, but
ourselves.
I mean, I've been on the
Like,
underground and I've seen like people get punched the fuck out. Like, why is no one doing that to him?
Okay, I should mention those things aren't necessarily legal in all areas of the U.S. either. Like, there's very many states where pepper spray is not allowed at all.
I think the thing is, it's prosecuted much harder in the UK.
Yeah, like
okay, I'm fine. You don't have to have pepper spray. You don't have to have tasers. You just take the fist the good Lord give you and just knock them inside the damn head.
Where I was trying to go, like, if I were to defend myself against this guy, this prankster, I would be the one to get in shit for it.
Sure.
And same with like all the people, say like people on the public transport as well. If they were to kind of grab it and be like, "Get the fuck away from the train, the train guard area," like, what the fuck are you playing at? They would have, the person who got in the way would have been the one to get arrested for it. We have such a terrible system that the moment you put hands on someone, you can be charged for it, even if it's self-defense. Because if there's not like, even if you have CCTV cameras, they don't care.
Okay, fair enough. Then when he was out here assaulting and jumping all over these Jewish people, right? Then why in the hell was he charged with assault or battery or something?
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't get a single small thing. You know,
and here's the thing too, right? He has become a public embarrassment for the UK nation, because it has been in the news over here, and so it's not a good look for you guys. And I hate to say that, but
100% agree. 110% agree with that. Like this, when I see people talking about him, I've got to come in. I don't have to, I come into chats and be like, I promise you, like, he is just a fucking arsehole. You know, and the police just don't want to fucking do anything. Our whole country's not like that, but it is completely.
The problem is it starts with one asshole. Like, I feel like, Logan Paul and Jake Paul were like two assholes, and now look how many do we have?
Exactly. Like, I feel like he was probably like, I don't know if you guys know or remember Sidemen, the British YouTube group. Yeah, I feel like he was probably like a fan of the Sidemen, like, when he kind of started getting chaos, like when he was like 13, 14, maybe. Because I'm not gonna lie,
they never really did anything close to what he does, though.
Yeah, like most kind of London wannabe pranksters want to just try and be the Sidemen or the Sidemen equivalents, and they'll stop at fucking nothing and cause chaos for everyone else.
Okay, point is, if I saw that guy in the underground, I don't care. He's getting punched out. I've seen so many people on the underground punched out.
He's never alone is the other thing. Like, I don't know how big his entourage is, but there's at least him and whoever's filming, at least.
Yeah.
So,
and because we have a big problem with knife crime over here as well, the moment that you see anyone in a group of like 3+ people starting a little bit of confrontation, I mean, myself anyway, I automatically think, oh my god, they're going to pull out a knife if I tell them to back off or something.
I mean, what does it matter if you get stabbed though? Like, if you get to punch them, that's the goal.
I mean, yes, that's a good point. I mean, I could weigh up, I'm sure the police would let me get away with a punch more than, me being, him trying to stab me. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. If they stab you and they hit the right place, you're going to die, because they cut arteries and that's it. You're dead. So.
And if like the other guys would then to jump on you or something, like,
I'm just
in
saying,
general,
these roadmen have terrible aim. They do.
Yeah, to be fair, yes. But like, we do have a lot of like, gang knife crime type problems. So I think that's why a lot of people also maybe get scared to get involved. Maybe just a thought, but
probably so.
Can I interrupt 1 second to say I've been so distracted for like the past minute because they were talking about pizza and I was like, pizza sounds great. But then Abby was like, I need dick, but a pizza's got to settle. I could settle for a pizza, I guess. And I was like, what's happening here? When did our chat become this degeneracy?
As the resident prude, I would like to tell chat to stop.
No,
yeah. You're a prude, all right, Seth. All right, so let's talk about something that's a little bit better mood, better whatever. So
Actually,
Reese,
wait. I'm curious, Reese.
You want me to lead you guys to it?
No, I got a question for you,
Reese.
Yeah,
Before
sure.
you go, I need to know: was it Stratford? It wasn't Stratford with the train thing.
Strapper?
Stratford.
What? Oh, Stratford. It was near. Let me brain for a second. Shepherd's Bush Empire, White City.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Westfields Shopping Centre.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga even played there. That's how big it is.
Okay, yeah, because they got a Westfield and Stratford as well, so I thought that was
I think it might even be the same one, actually. I might just be thinking of like the train station name for it, but I think it actually might be the Stratford one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
It's kind of like just on the outskirts off, just about going into London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's quite the same one, actually. Yeah, no, wait, it is. It is.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 floors or something like that. It is.
Yeah.
It's basically its own town.
I don't.
I had the best burger I've ever had in Westfield. They have that
Oh yeah, where'd you
gourmet
go?
burger kitchen.
Oh, you can't go wrong with GBK.
Yeah, you can, dude. They had like this at the time. They had this thing called the Pawn Star, which was like it had prawns in it or whatever. It was fucking goated.
Oh, I wonder if they still do that.
Yeah, it was only I went to other gourmet burger kitchens and they didn't have that specific one, so I'm like I gotta go back to Westfield. It's in my dreams.
Yeah, specialty Sheffield, not Sheffield, Stratford version. Yeah. No, I love going up to Westfields. It is so great, and there's always just thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and there are police everywhere. To be fair.
And you're not far from Hackney, which
Exactly. Like I think you can get a bus which is like half an hour from Camden Town, which is like I don't know if you know Camden, like big old. Yeah, you know Camden, so it's a pretty big area.
Yeah, it's quite lovely, especially if if you're trying. They've got a bloody good gay club, like in Hackney.
Oh yes, where is that? Where? Tell me.
Oh fuck! What is it called again? Bloody hell!
You're not thinking of GAY, are you?
No.
No, okay.
A little bit too gay for me, to be honest. It's Village or something. Oh, is it?
Soho.
No, they've got one in Hackney as well. It opened up like 2 years ago, maybe, I think.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God, I might have actually performed there.
But you perform?
Yeah, I'm a drag queen.
Oh,
So
Jesus!
That's what I was going to ask. When was your next show?
I haven't actually got one booked yet, I'm afraid, but I'm hoping on doing a little "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" number. For those who know, you'll know.
That show
I must
creeped me
say,
out.
thank you, people, for what you said the other day about me
What's
on
that?
Dead on Dave's show. That was really kind of you. I really appreciate that.
No, listen, I think you're a wonderful person. And the fact that, you sit down and talk to me, because I'll be honest with you, you were the first transgendered person I'd ever sat down and had a conversation with.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah. And so it was,
so privileged.
I was always very hesitant because my impressions of people who are in their trans community, unfortunately, are the ones that get all the limelight, and it's not always in a good. Yeah, it's not always in a good one. So I was like, okay, what am I getting into here? And it was so pleasant and so refreshing, and it was just. I really valued that time with you, and I thought it was great. And
thank you so much.
And I think you're a really swell person, and I support. Yeah, so make sure, guys, if you're in the UK, whatever, make sure you're following Reese on Twitter so you can find out where he's going to be at and go catch his shows. So
I'd like to let you know that my DMs are always open, and if that's you in your picture, Reese, send me
Yeah,
money.
it is. That was a show in London about a year ago now.
I'm down. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Let's
hit me
go.
up.
See, again, horn dogging. Seth, you are a horn dog.
I can't help it.
I know you can't. Good
I
Lord,
can't
girl.
either. I'm sorry.
Well, listen, I appreciate you calling in, and you're always welcome to call in, Reese. You don't have to ask. If you want to call in, you call in. The door is always open for you.
Oh, bless your soul. Thank you so much. I'll be in the chat.
All right, you take care. All right.
You too. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh, you
I really like Reese.
What a splendid guy.
Yeah, he is awesome. I really like him.
I think I've found who I want to replace DMax with.
Do you really? I tell you what, honestly, truthfully, I think if I can make it over to the UK, which I'm hopefully going to in these days, I'm going to make it a point to get in touch with Reese and hopefully catch one of his shows. I think it would be a hoot. And I would so look forward to that. I really, truly, I would. So,
yeah, I'm gonna have to catch one of the shows next time.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap things up, guys, because I want to get out of here and go spend some time with the boss. So
the boss.
Yep, the boss. She's the boss. So
on the 27th anniversary.
On the 27th anniversary, exactly.
Aww, so cute.
So guys,
which anniversary is the 27th anniversary? You know how it's like gold and pearl and diamond?
I think it's I'm going to bed, don't touch me, leave me alone tonight. I think that's the anniversary we're on. I don't know what. Let's see what does the Google say? What is the 27th wedding anniversary? Traditional thing is sculptures. There's no gemstone, so I guess I should have got her some sort of sculpture or something. I guess I don't know.
Oh, you could have gotten her like one of those little bobbleheads of you guys. That would have qualified as sculpture.
Okay, yeah.
Listen,
are you really thinking?
I would love a Riveter bobblehead. That would be amazing. A Riveter plushie. Oh, that would be so cute.
No.
Can we get Mr. and Mrs. Riveter plushies?
No, because people would do sinister things to them.
I would carve a hole right in that.
It would be for a good cause. It would be for a good cause.
Make her stiff drink and rub her feet. If she would like a foot rub, of course I would. I would rub her. I would rub her feet. Of course.
That's a stiff drink. Is that one of those Bill Cosby drinks, or what is that?
No.
The original topic. Jeez.
I did stop the other evening and I did pick her up some. She likes these Cayman Jack margaritas. They're little mixed margaritas in a can, little bitty can. She likes to have one of those of the evening and kind of help her relax, kind of wind down from the day. So I think she probably had her one of those this evening or hell, she may have had two because it was anniversary night. Who knows? So
maybe 3. Ooh.
Maybe. No, I don't think it'd be 3. So.
Picking up things for your lady is important. I don't know if I've said this story before, but apparently on the way to give birth to me, on the way to the hospital to give birth to me, my mother wanted peaches. And my father was like, I'm not stopping for peaches. You're in labor. Yeah. And my mother has never told the story of my birth without including that part. Did you know? He didn't get me the peaches.
You were in labor.
Listen. If I'm about to birth your child, you can get me the damn peaches.
I know when my
because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of times when you get to the hospital, they're like, don't eat, don't drink anything. So you have to prepare. You need to go in there like ready to stop ingesting everything.
Maybe it's because I'm an absent father and I've never been there for the birth of any of my kids.
That's what it is.
Anyway. Make sure you guys, if you're not, sub to GG Heart's YouTube channel. I'll get you guys the link here. If you check out the description, It has everybody's Twitter and where you can find them on the Twitter. So make sure you're.
You have my Twitter?
I have your Twitter on there. Yep.
Oh, follow me on Twitter, guys.
You can follow Seth over on Twitter. Seth, I don't think makes content. She used to, but then she got banned off her Twitch for some reason. We don't know why. You can catch me in the morning.
That's long since gone, actually.
Yeah.
I just don't make content because I'm lazy.
You don't make. Well, I understand.
She would be too powerful, people. She's already
probably
got
would.
a following.
Exactly. She would be too powerful. You can check me in the morning at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time over at Riveter, everywhere Riveter. And on that note, guys, let's get out of here so I can go spend some time with the wife. Remember to always.
Oh yeah, wait. No. Hold on. Before you say that.
All right.
Check out Abby's stream because I was on Abby's stream.
Okay.
And she's super knowledgeable about the topics she was talking about. So
okay,
it's worth a watch.
And let's not forget Happy Father's Day and father figures.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so guys, remember to keep your powder dry and look for us in the funny papers.
Hey, she did it, guys.
She did it.
Oh,
Good
Seven's
job.
in the chat.
Yeah.